Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So, as you all know, the Honkai Star Rail Fate collab has actually come to fruition. Now, with that collab coming about, there has been waves and waves of disappointment, not only from the regular players and the people that obviously have a grudge against Honkai Star Rail for one reason or another, but also the Hoyo shills. Even Mr. Pokey, for example, has rated this abysmally low, the story. And, now we have Braxophone. He put out a video. The Fate collab situation is crazy. Now, I haven't watched this video, but I can only assume, going off of what everybody else is saying and the title of the video, it's not going to be good. And I played Honkai Star Rail for a while, and I had high hopes for it. And with every passing month, with every new character that came out, it really just was more and more disappointing. And I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So I eventually quit. I have been keeping up with Honkai uh, here and there, just so I know what's happening and everything like that. Maybe it'll get good enough to where I can come back and not feel terrible about it, but I digress. Let's see what Raxophone has to say about the Fate collab situation, and hopefully it's not as bad as what everybody else says.
Huge Fate fan, and I also have been covering HSR on my channel since its launch and even before its launch to some degree, right? You guys know how stoked I was for the collab to actually happen, and now it's here.
Everybody was hyping for the Fate collab. The second it was announced, the second it was teased, honestly, everybody's been hyping it up like this is the end all be all. This collab is going to put Honkai Star Rail on the map. No one else is gonna really get past it. No one else is gonna really top this Fate collab. And look where it is now. Everybody is just not feeling it, to put it lightly, honestly. It's just it honestly is probably the biggest letdown in gacha in a while.
And people have their opinions on it. There's some good things, some bad things. But what I was very surprised to find out is when I went online, a lot of people are really not happy with it. Which is crazy to me because from the perspective of someone who cares more about the gameplay side of things of HSR, like just enjoying the new characters that come out, I think it's great because I have Archer and Saber who are just like they're awesome units to play. Okay. Recently, E6 Saber completely free to play on an account that I've been saving up pulls for years. And it's like super fun, right? Now, the fact that Archer's better than Saber and Archer's the free character, I actually think that's awesome, but I know a lot of people don't like that because like, why? That doesn't make sense. Like, why is Saber weaker than Archer, but she's the character you have to pull for? That doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't really care. But that's not what people have a problem with.
That's I didn't know that the free character is better. In a way, that's really cool because the people who don't pull and that just build up Archer, it's good for them. It makes it feel like it's not totally terrible that you're not throwing money at the game or you don't have enough pulls or anything like that. But on the flip side, what's the point of pulling for the character Saber if she's worse in every way compared to the free character? It just makes you feel like you're only collecting it for nostalgia or for just to have it like a token trophy or something. And that doesn't feel good. Why spend pools on something that's not going to help your account and you can't have fun playing? Doesn't make any sense at all.
In fact, that seems to be universally the thing that everyone is really happy about is how good the characters are or how the characters feel to play, how well represented they were in their animations, their voice lines, and everything.
They do look really cool.
Archer has his entire Unlimited Blade Works chant if you sit there and wait for it to happen, which is super awesome. So imagine my surprise when I'm like, oh, this collab's happening, and it's HSR, which I actually had a lot of faith to make a really good collab. Imagine my surprise when I find out that people really don't like it. Like, it's a very, very unpopular. And
I heard that the main reason people didn't like the Fate collab wasn't for the characters, but for the story aspect of it. They're barely there. They're there for like a minute out of the extremely long story that they have. And it's just like, what the point? What's the point? It doesn't feel like a Fate collab. Just feels like another side quest with Fate elements in it to try and promote it. It just doesn't sound good at all.
Thought it might have just been like a small minority of people that said they didn't like the game and that's what happened. It seems to be a lot of people are very upset about the collab. So, I mean, just look at this. So, Smack talked about the collab and people are upset about it. That's different. But you just look up HSR Fate collab. There's a TLDR from Daily Finance. This is an HSR fan account. Lancer has 3 lines: most random NPC models for servants, Scott event, reused assets, reused map, fun gameplay, Honkai NPC rail. It was another random Hoyo event in another batch, and it's sad, truly. Like, what is this model? Is this Saber Alter? Is that what this is? Oh no, I don't know. It's just a random NPC model, right? But is that who that's supposed to be? Is that supposed to be Jalter? I don't know. I don't know. So here's
See, that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people are talking about that the models and stuff aren't necessarily bad for the Fate characters, but it's like everything else centered around the Fate characters is just abysmally bad. It doesn't make sense how bad it is. It's like they had the idea, but the second they like waited till the last minute to put everything together, and they're like, well, we didn't really code the animations that well, so let's just put them in there for a little bit, just show that they're there, and just throw some NPCs in there to do some random stuff. Like, what are you doing, and what are you talking about? You need to do better. Like, honestly, on the regular story stuff, whatever. But for this Fate collab that was hyped up for as long as I can remember, since the second it was released, it was hyped up. This is what they get. This is what they get in return. They get this dog crap just laid in front of them. And they're like, yeah, this is what you waited for. This is the best we can do. Honestly, terrible. Even when the fan accounts are talking crap, yeah, it's terrible.
Here's the thing, I actually haven't gotten around to playing it yet because I've been so focused on making content for you guys, but I am going to play it. In this, I'm not going to give my opinion on the story because I genuinely don't know what it's about, but hearing all of this stuff about the story is crazy to me because I had so much faith in this collab to pop up. I mean, I lost a lot of faith in it like instantly when Rin wasn't in the collab, but like that's mostly a joke, right? Like it's mostly a meme. Yeah, Rin's not in the collab, that fucking sucks, worst collab of all time. But we still got Archer and Saber, and they did a great job with them, so I was pretty stoked about it. But yeah, like people, okay, so an HSR fan account is a
and again, yeah, they did good with the character models for Archer and Saber, but it's not about that. It's not about those 2 specific models. It's quite literally the rest of the 99% of the game.
Upset with it. The new HSR Fate collab made me appreciate Genshin events, adding in whole new areas to explore. I've seen a couple things about this. Apparently people are pretty upset that there's no new areas, like they just like copied and pasted.
Damn. You know it's bad when the Hoyo community are cannibalizing on themselves, where they're talking about how good Genshin Impact is and how much more expansive and how much there's so much more to do compared to an HSR collab. When at the beginning of the lifespan, HSR was really the kind of one like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Genshin players couldn't understand, or that they'll never get to see it, or da 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 da. It's weird how things just come full circle like that.
The Greek architecture from Amphorius, and then they also used Ides Elysiae, and then Saber is like, is this Britain? And people are kind of upset about that. So honestly, I think that if they added a new event to a new place to explore, that'd be great. I personally don't play HSR for exploration, but I feel like, you know, this is a collab that
I mean, HSR isn't really an exploration game. You get from point A to point B and do a bunch of turn-based gameplay. It's not an exploration type game, so I don't know why you'd expect really a lot of exploration to begin with.
Had a lot of money and a lot of time behind it, so I think it wouldn't have hurt them too much to not do an asset flip, but we'll move on from this one too. I've just seen some people talking about that. Now, I saw this, thank God they gave the Fate collab to HSR. If we look at the quote retweets, I saw this one too. This didn't age well. Aged like shit. This aged like milk. Like, It's people are not happy with the collab. It's really crazy. HSR players with the Fate collab, you know, just being spoon-fed slop. You know, that's another one. Box also tweeted, so how are we feeling about the HSR Fate collab? And I went looking through this, and you know, story 1 out of 10. It was worst story ever done by Hoyoverse, guys. Compared to the banana story, like for this to be a 1 of,
you know, the banana story, yeah, it was pretty bad. It wasn't the best. Definitely wasn't the best. But I did look a little bit. I didn't go into this blind. I did look a little bit into the story. It's just so bad. Like, it might be okay for a regular HSR type of side quest thing, but as a collab, a Fate collab no less, yeah, it's attaching Fate collab to that is honestly disgusting.
10 is insane. For this to be worse than the banana story, the one that everyone hated more than anything else, is insane to me. Like, they must have really just absolutely dropped the ball. Story was very disappointing. The characters getting muted was fun for a minute until they forced it on you for an hour plus. Oh, so this is another thing that apparently happened. Again, I haven't played it, so I don't know yet. I will be playing through it, but apparently voices get muted for like an hour plus. They could chalk it up to the strike. The SAG, well, that
I also heard that you can't cross dub or cross sub. Like, you can't cross voices. So it's either you have everybody in, like, Japanese or something like that. But if you have people in English to where you want to understand them, Saber and Archer don't have a voice because they didn't get English voice actors. So it's either they just don't voice anything, or you have everything in a language you most likely don't understand. Which, that doesn't make any sense.
Not strike, but
L
strike.
after L.
They could chalk it up to that, and then like, oh yeah, let's just, because none of the voice actors are coming in, let's make it a story where nobody speaks. That's fun. You know, that's like a fun joke. Like if you said it jokingly, like a self-aware joke of, oh yeah, we're not voiced. That's fine, but for like an hour, that's nuts to me. A 5 out of 10 seems generous based on what people are saying. Free Archer.
A 5 out of 10 is actually the highest I've seen anyone at all speak about it. Usually it's I think the highest I saw was 2.3 or something like that, and that's the highest I've seen. So 5 is crazy generous.
And then the signature like for 200 polls seems cool, and I agree with that. Characters and their animations incredible. Fate Quest for those who are unfamiliar with Fate, fine. Fate Quest for big Fate fans, absolute disaster.
Yeah.
Fate battle event's quite interesting. Disappointing, thought it was okay. Disappointing for 1 year of wait. 5 of 10. All right, HSR Fate collab, stories of flashback, disregards the concept of Holy Grail War. Collab units are side characters to NPCs. Assassin and Caster are...
Oh, and another thing is the whole quest is like a flashback. So at the very beginning, you're spoiled immediately on all the events that are happening because they already say what happened. And then they just kind of go over what happened, and that's the whole quest. Like, what? Like, why wouldn't you... If it's going to be a flashback, don't say it's a flashback. Just put us in it. Do the whole thing, and then you could be like, oh, and then that's what happened. Or some stupid shit like that. Don't start off with, oh... this is the ending, yada yada yada, and then go into a flashback. It's just like, what's the point? What am I working towards? I already know the ending, so who cares about the middle, especially when the middle is as bad as what they say it is.
A dog shit NPC.
I have no storyboard practice or experience. I could make a better story overnight without any sleep. Quite honestly.
PCs instead of being Medea and Hassan of the Cursed Arm, VA suddenly muted. So as you can see, I didn't put any negative connotation in the search at all. I said HSR Fate collab, and people are just shit talking it non-stop. Yeah, people, it's just not going well at all. Also, Lancer not being playable was a miss in my opinion. They already gave him a unique model, so they really should have just,
yeah,
they really should have just made him playable, but that's just my opinion. People are not enjoying it that much. I mean,
they spent more time making a Lancer model that we can't use or do anything with than they did like making an actual story.
Some people are. I think HSR players that don't know Fate are actually having an okay time with it, but people that are Fate enjoyers first and foremost are like, what the fuck is this? And, oh, I also forgot to say at the beginning of the video, disclaimer, my cats have been a tornado through my office, if you can't tell. So, love those little goblins. You know, for a collab that had like a year of design and prep work and, you know, a multi-billion-dollar company funding it, I think a lot of people are upset at not only the storytelling not being up to par with what they're hoping for, and the zones kind of being like asset flips. Now, I don't think it's uncommon to do like little asset flips in mobile games. That's like a pretty normal thing. But this is a company that has so much money in it and behind it, so it's obvious why people are upset about it. You can say, oh, we have the game coded in a way to where that wouldn't work, but if you have billions of dollars to throw and like a year of development to do, you can definitely make most things work in the industry, assuming.
Absolutely. They have unlimited resources, unlimited personnel. They could pay so many people, making double shifts, have people working at night, people working during the day. They could have done something. They could have made this whole story in a couple weeks. Honestly, with the resources they have, they could have done it in a couple weeks. We didn't have to wait a year. Secondly, it feels like the story we have now was made by a single person in their off time. Just throwing my opinion out there. Let me know if you agree down below, but I feel like they really did not give a slight shit about this collab, and they just gave it to one person, not even like a high-ranking person, a person like an intern or something. They're like, hey, play around with the assets, see what you get. If you don't get this right, you're fired, or some stupid shit like that. And this is the best they got. Like, what could they possibly be doing in the HSR department to where they couldn't divert a sufficient amount of resources to at least make it a little bit better? I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a grumpy about having to quit because of all the BS that was happening. But let's finish what he has to say.
You have the manpower to do it, and these guys have the like. If you have money, you can basically do anything. That's just how the world works. So honestly, I'm kind of bummed to find out this is what people think about the Fate collab. Now, I'll give you guys my honest thoughts on it later, but it really seems like people were not happy about it. It seems like it was a bit of a disaster. So very, very odd for me to find out as someone who was looking forward to this for basically over a year. I had made an account that had never pulled a single character the second they announced that they were talking with Nasu. I'm not talking about like the second the Fate collab was announced, the second they announced that they would have a meeting in the future to talk about Fate and HSR and then announce the collab later. I made it the second they said they were going to talk. So I have been hoping that they would do a Fate collab forever. They announced a Fate collab. I was ecstatic. I was elated. I was like, I was at such a good time. I was so stoked for Rin to be playable with.
Man, I feel bad for Brax. He had such high hopes for this company. It's done nothing but let people down in every game that they have. He's such a pure individual, honestly. He just wanted his favorite game to have something that was also his favorite thing and mesh together and be his ultimate favorite thing. And he hasn't even got to play it yet, but he's already disappointed and he hasn't even gotten into it yet. I'm sure he doesn't want to admit it yet, but he is, I bet he's reluctantly going to play the story, fully knowing that every bit of it is going to be trash. And I'm sure he's going to be optimistic. I'm sure he's just, oh, people are just overly scrutinizing it and it's not that bad. But, you know, hopefully he thinks it's not as bad as what other people say it is.
A
honestly.
memo
I hope he has a
sprite
good time playing
archer,
it.
and the same thing with like Emiya and Saber. That would make the most sense because they introduced a whole summon system. That just seems like the most likely thing that was going to happen. You know, even though I think the servants were done.
I also do think it was a big L that they didn't have, because of the whole summon system that they implemented. They had nothing to do with that whatsoever in the Fate collab, and it almost feels like they were implementing that to integrate the Fate collab into the game, but no, of course not. They didn't have the two brain cells to rub it together, or they were just too lazy to do it.
Done well in Saber and Archer. I think Saber and Archer were actually done very well. Apparently the ball was just dropped across the board for literally everything else except for maybe the event gameplay, because I think some people have said some positive things about that. And it's honestly just, it's such a bummer, you guys. Now, I will be playing this over on stream, twitch.tv/brag. So if you guys want to watch, the link will be in the description. I'll give you guys my honest thoughts on it then after I've played it. But while I've been waiting to play it, I just, you know, I spend some time online looking at social media just to check things out. And all I'm seeing is negativity about the Fate collab, and people just don't like it at all. Really, such a bummer to see. I think that HSR probably could have done better based on what people are saying about the collab. I think they have the money to do it. I think they have the time, the manpower to do it. So it is a bummer, guys. It really is a big letdown if that is the case, but I'll give you guys my thoughts on it later. From what
Yeah, I really hope he has a fun time playing it, at least a little bit for his sake. But it's quite honestly such a big letdown that the one thing people were hoping for is, oh, the game's gonna get better once the Fate collab comes out, or something along those lines. It really just turned out to be the biggest letdown. And honestly, if there wasn't enough people quitting off of the whole global passive thing with Castris, I think a lot of people are going to quit off of this. It's just disappointment. It's just pure and utter disappointment. And I don't know. I really don't know what HSR could save themselves with now. Because that was the one thing people are holding on to. But, you know, let me know what you guys thought about the HSR Fate collab in the description down below. I truly appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Braxphone as well as me. I truly appreciate it. Have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.